Hello, Shelby. How are you doing on this beautiful Wednesday?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I guess.
As good as you can be after
Saturday.
a difficult Saturday?
It was a great first half.
Yeah, that's one thing I've come to learn in my days as a football fan is that there's actually two halves.
No
And
way.
in general, I prefer to play well in the second half because that's when you actually get a chance to win the game.
Assuming you
And
got down by like 50 by the.
yeah, unless it's like what, like 24-6 or something. If you're down that bad, you might as well just throw in the towel and the right volunteers. Oh, catching strays off the bat. You love to see it.
Yikes.
Oh,
That's my
so
one.
besides, walk me through the Texas A&M perspective because, man, I thought your defense was going to be a lot better than they ended up being.
I think somebody made some kind of adjustment that didn't need to be made.
So I know you guys came prepared with the excuses about the flu. I told you before you even knew about it, Jimbo's playing with biological warfare. I mean, he knows that as long as he has, some kind of mustard gas, COVID, some kind of biological agent at his disposal, that's how he's going to bring down the Gata. And thankfully, so far it seems like we've resisted his. We got our flu shots this year,
God.
but do you? So I've seen a couple of comments about this, but do you think it would have mattered based off of what you saw?
If Connor
Uh,
played, yes.
so you think Connor would have been there on defense to
Well, no, because Connor wouldn't
stop
have
us from
not put
scoring?
up a single point in the second half.
What if he doesn't put up 24 points in the first half?
I'm pretty sure he would have, because we saw Ole Miss. He tried. Haynes King tried the first half and decided he did not want to try the second half. And apparently, according to one of the Aggie Athletics pages, this guy posted that he ran into Haynes King after the game, and Haynes said he has turf toe and that's why he can't run, and this, that, and the other. And I said, that's a bunch of bullshit. I don't care what he says. I'm sorry, but if you were able to play the first half and do it well, why did we quit the second half?
Now, see, so this is interesting because from the Florida perspective, the narrative has been why what the adjustments that we made in the second half are was the difference, and why haven't we been making those adjustments all year, particularly in regards to playing more pattern match defense, blitzing more, bringing more pressure to get to the quarterback. So that kind of contributes to what you're saying. Is in the first half, we really weren't able to get Haynes King down. I mean, he's Haynes King, right? Like if we let him sit in the pocket, even if you don't sack him, he probably still might not throw an accurate pass. And that kind of happened. I mean, there were some times where guys were open and he just missed them.
Yeah,
But
and
from our perspective, that was the story: was why didn't we play the first half defense like we did the second half? And the offense was pretty much even. 20 points in the first half and 21 in the second half. But our defense really just that was the difference maker from our perspective. So it's interesting to hear the turf toe shenanigans coming out.
of course, it doesn't help that we stopped running the ball too. Like Devon was doing great things, and then Jimbo was like, "Nah, it's fine, it's fine."
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of his came on that one run.
God bless it.
That man, when that play happened, I was just I had this sneaking suspicion about this game. I mean, I don't know, Florida has never. I think we've beaten Jimbo Fisher once since he's been a coach. And so there were definitely a lot of nervous Florida fans this weekend, especially with the way the first half went. But yeah, I mean, next time the Aggies and Gators meet up, we'll have to go to a game and do this in person. But
Kate and I were supposed to go, but then Kate left me for Florida. Because she lived in Dallas for a little bit, and we were gonna go together. And then she's like, "I'm moving back to Florida," and I was like, "Oh, so we're not
R.I.P.
then." Which I'm kind of glad because I didn't need to sit through that.
Yeah, which with the expansions coming in, maybe we'll get to play each other more often. Although maybe not more often, but at a regularly scheduled interval instead of it requiring a pandemic and
Every 7 years.
Yeah, then every 10 years after that. Evan Stewart, can't wait for that guy to get in the portal so that
Stop giving me. God damn it. We already lost Anthony Hill, okay? I'm already emotional.
Yeah, but there's always a chance he comes back. You know who else you guys lost, and it's kind of interesting because Harold Perkins, he was committed to Texas A&M for a long time, and I'm pretty sure he's from right outside of Houston, or I think he's from Louisiana, but he was living in Cypress, Texas. I think was
outside of Houston, yeah.
And Florida tried to sneak in at the last minute, and we made a late push, and obviously LSU made a late push, and he ended up signing with LSU. But he's a what could have been for us. Really, Florida finished second for Evan Stewart and Harold Perkins, and nobody really cares if you finish second, right? But amongst our fan base, those two guys in particular, with especially how well they've played this year, they're definitely the two guys that from this last class, every Florida fan wishes we had finished in first four because they look like studs.
I tell you right now, though, everybody except for maybe LJ Johnson and Levon Moss are praying that Devon Achane decides to come back another year. He won't. But it's worth a shot in my prayers.
Yeah, I mean, it's always worth a shot.
In my prayers and in my heart, he's coming back, and so is Anias.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. We had a guy, Naquan Wright, who had a pretty bad injury at the end of the year. I think it was the end of the year last year, but he had like a fractured ankle. And nobody was really sure if he was coming back. And then he ended up coming back, and he was like the starter at the beginning of the year, but now he's not really playing much just because that injury is just it's a tough one to come back from for a running back.
And he's got the same injury or around the same kind of injury that Haynes had last year. Anias does.
You guys need a new strength and conditioning coach.
Oh, according to Jimbo, strength and conditioning doesn't stop broken bones.
Well, I mean, I guess that is a good point. Like, I can't really argue with that.
Because you can be as conditioned as you want, but if your bone's going to break, your bone's going to break.
Yeah, I think there's some more physiological.
I'm just saying
that's that's a take.
I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying that's what was said. Me and my Texas A&M maroon pen are right.
I had our setup. I need to figure out how to make your colors maroon because when I set up this, let me see if I can find it. Let's set this up. You see our little background here and
our friend that never came.
Yeah, our friend that never came. TAMU, they had a web color scheme, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like just
we have a specific.
It's like 50,000. It's just maroon is the color that for you guys have. And I was like, wow, that's really straightforward and simple. But speaking of A&M and maroon, let's start rolling on some picks here. I don't want to break your heart too much about the game.
God,
Um,
it hurt. Oh,
yeah, I mean we're running a little low on energy with the time zone or the time change, so we'll make this one short and sweet. How's that sound?
all right. That means I
So
can go to
let's
ooh
start off with arguably a must-win game.
for both teams.
Texas A&M at Auburn.
I feel like it's a must win for both teams. Auburn's trying to put their season back together after the loss of Brian after Brian Harsin got fired, and they're trying to remind the world that they are still, decent-ish, I guess. And A&M is just treading water at this point. I knew. Okay, I want to say that. I had a feeling that if we were going to struggle, it was going to be this year. Though I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this a few different times. I've always felt like the expectations for this year for Texas A&M should have just been house money. Like I know that's hard in year 5 of a coaching regime, but what you guys brought in, I feel like Jimbo still has the foundation set. I feel like the wheels kind of fell off a little bit this year. But yeah, I feel like the expectation should have always been eight and not 8-4 because I mean that's obviously should be Jimbo's expectation because that's what he goes every year. But like actually like not expecting 11-1 and going 8-4, but expecting 8-4 and going 8-4. Like that, there's a big difference in those two
11
things.
and 1, and I expected to get killed by Alabama.
Right. Like that's and I feel like that expectation was probably pretty common. And to me, like part of the reason why I've enjoyed this year so much, despite the 4 losses we have, is because my expectations were just 10-2 to 6-6, anywhere in between. This season is a complete wash. It really does not matter. Make a bowl game, beat the teams that we should beat, maybe beat a team we shouldn't. Or let AR be AR and win games for us like he did to Utah. I don't know, but this season I'll be able to just kind of sit back and enjoy it, and it's been so much better than actually having expectations for the season. And I feel like if Texas A&M had been able to do that and let the talent and the class that you guys just brought in marinate a little bit with no pressure, you know, unfortunately the pressure cooker was on, and this season went a little bit worse than I think that they could have anticipated. But so do you how confident do you feel going into Jordan Hare? Nighttime kickoff.
I felt a lot more confident until I saw that Mississippi State score.
Yeah.
I felt like I was sure. I was like, Auburn will be a win, UMass will be a win. And now I'm like, Auburn may be a loss. Let's hope UMass is a win. No, I'm not that bad. But I tell you, battered Aggie syndrome, the real thing. I have battered Aggie syndrome. I've had it
Bless your heart.
young.
Bless your heart. Maybe one day soon it'll change.
It better.
All right, so I'm assuming you got your Aggies. I don't know what the spread is. We'll just pick these outright. You got your Aggies. Who? What do you think a score is going to be?
Oh, I don't do good at scores. I don't know because I don't trust my offense as far as I can throw it.
That's fair. I'll go out on a limb here and I'll say you guys handle this one 31-17.
Ooh, I like that.
No. How about this? I'll do 34-24. That way you guys can have a new highest scoring game of the season.
Yep. The last one is Sam Houston State.
31-0. Oh, that was a sign of things to come for you guys.
My very first football game I ever went to, we won as a student, we won 77-3. So that was the first year post Johnny Manziel.
Well, at least you got to see that.
That after a 3-hour rain delay, yeah.
Man,
Sat
those
in the
rain
rain.
delays.
We sat in the non-rain for 3 hours. It was not raining. It was just lightning in the area, but it was not raining. So we sat there and we sat there and we sat there. And then eventually we started and it was 77-3. Lamar.
Poor Lamar. Every Texas team just destroys Lamar.
I could not tell you who the quarterback was in that game. I'd have to look it up. I forgot.
All right, so this game, our Bulldog buddies, they seem unreasonably worried about it. I'm sorry, my eyes are so dry. But Georgia going into Stark Vegas, who you got?
Ooh, that's fun. I didn't even realize that was this week. That tells you how much I paid attention. I host a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't pay attention to who was playing.
Yep, I feel you. I've been there.
Let's see. I'm gonna go Georgia, but I feel like Mississippi State puts up at least a half of a fight.
I could see it. I mean, I need to look this up. I could have sworn that SEC noisemaker rule. Hold on, I got to get clarification on this because I have always been under the impression that so the artificial noisemaker rule, they're supposed to stop using those stupid cowbells when the center is over the ball. So
that's not a thing.
Huh?
That's not a thing. They don't do that.
Right, exactly. So every time I watch them play, they just are constantly, the cowbells never stop.
I hate cowbells. I hate Mississippi State. I hate cowbells. Justin Hillhouse, our Mississippi State super fan. I love him dearly, but I do not like Mississippi State or their cowbells.
Me neither. Mississippi State came to Florida the one time and they beat, it was like 9-6 or something, and it was just the worst game ever. And then they were so obnoxious the whole time afterwards. It was pretty annoying.
Whew, now I got me yawning.
I know. I'm sorry. We gotta bust through this. I gotta take a nap or something. Drink some coffee.
It's 7:18 p.m. I gotta take a nap.
Well, it's a long nap. Some people might call it going to sleep. South Carolina at Florida. I know the spread for this one is 8.5. Who you got?
Florida.
Smart. So let me ask you this:
Smart.
What did you think of Florida from the game? What were your takeaways? Did you notice anything? Like I feel like your offensive line did pretty well. I mean, as the game progressed, they kind of started getting whooped, and I feel like that's probably where the flu and lack of depth kind of comes into play. Our defensive ends kind of were able to get the Haynes King, but I feel like in the first half they weren't. I feel like in the first half your offensive line pretty good, your defensive line looked pretty solid. Our O line's pretty good, and you guys did pretty well against it in the first half. And like I said, I mean, I feel like the second half, like I know I'm making fun of it, calling it an excuse and stuff, but also that's kind of when depth really comes into play, and you guys having 16 people out with the flu probably meant you had a bunch of people playing all game and getting super tired and then getting run over. But
yep,
I feel like Florida, like I said, especially on defense, like if we can even play half as well on defense as we did in the second half of the game against you guys, I think we win this one by like 3 touchdowns. But yeah, I'll say 42-24. Florida wins.
You better, because if I can't beat South Carolina, you have to.
I'll do my best. All right. Bama at Ole Miss.
Ooh, I'm excited for this one.
this is going to be a good one to be able to sit back and. Oh, I won't really be able to watch it because it comes on right before my game. But yeah, that'll be fun. I think.
Skip your game and watch this one for you.
Okay, yeah, you take notes, and then next week we'll be able to compare notes and form, that 2:30 to 6 time slot that we won't be able to both watch. We'll have to watch one or the other.
And then you can watch my game because no one cares about Georgia. No,
Exactly. Easy. Got to boost your viewership numbers. Make it look like you guys are beating Georgia, Mississippi State. I think.
I got Ole Miss. Why not?
You beat me to it. I was going to say I think Ole Miss pulls off the upset here. I think Bama's season's done. Yeah, we'll see. I'm torn on this one. I'm pretty excited for this. I could definitely see Ole Miss pulling the upset. I could also see Bama coming out fired up and trying to fight for the season. We'll see. Maybe it's the beginning of the end for Nick Saban.
As my friend Vegas Reb says, it's Bama Respect Week.
Interesting.
It is Bama Respect Week, and we don't want to hear that we're playing an angry Alabama team. We are just Alabama, and we respect them.
Yep.
Because every time you don't respect them, they come and kill you.
What did Lane Goat Fuel? God. Did you see that where Lane Kiffin called it Goat Fuel?
Auburn, please. Can we just call it a day?
All right, Vandy at Kentucky.
I just realized that we're probably going to lose to the entire. We could lose to the entire state of Alabama and the entire state of Mississippi this year. Normally, it's one or the other.
That's true.
We normally either lose to the entire state of Alabama but beat Mississippi, or we lose to the entire state of Mississippi but beat Alabama.
When's the last time y'all beat a team from the state of North Carolina?
UNC? Orange Bowl? 2020?
Wow, it's been a long time. Did y'all play anybody from North Carolina this year?
No.
Yeah?
No, not at all. Straight up, nope. Can we appreciate the App State fan that was at the Florida A&M game for a second, please? Like, straight up, that is commitment. Now instead of being Texas fans, it's gonna be App State fans. So we're gonna have to say there's always one.
Man, that dude, I was laughing so hard when I can't imagine doing that. Like I don't know if maybe you guys are just really cordial and nicer than the stadiums I've been into, but like I can't imagine being like a Jacksonville State fan and going into FSU Stadium when they're playing Clemson or something and just smoking a cigar while I wear my Jacksonville State. That was just so funny to me. Oh, that guy goes down in the history books for sure.
Yeah, I mean, honest to God, though, if you go to an A&M sporting event, you will always find someone in burnt orange. And you're like, dude, you don't even go here.
Yeah.
Like, once we're in the SEC, fine, whatever. Cool. But seriously, you don't even go here.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot in a lot of different stadiums. People just wearing like a Rivals jersey or something, and like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it either.
So you can get it at any Walmart now. So
that's true.
That's what people are A&M. That's what it's the saying. If people are A&M fans because they went to A&M, or they have a lifelong love affair with A&M because someone else they know went to A&M. You're a UT fan because you went to Walmart.
Oof, that's harsh.
Or you think because you're from the state of Texas, you have to be a fan of the flagship university of the state.
Hey, but honestly,
we actually co-host.
You guys sound like FSU fans talking to Florida fans.
Aren't y'all actually the flagship university of the state?
Yeah, we actually are.
That's different.
Is Texas A&M the flagship university?
We share that title. A&M opened first. No, A&M opened first, but didn't want to be the University of Texas because we were already the Texas Agricultural and Mechanical University or college at that point. And so whenever Baylor opened, Baylor didn't want it, and Baylor was private. Texas A&M opened, A&M didn't want it, and A&M just didn't want it. So Texas then opened. They were like, "Oh, you get to be the University of Texas, even though 2 schools opened before you." Sorry. So now when they talk about flagship universities, they bring up both of us.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that stuff's overblown, and
flagship universities. So I'm like, don't even get me started.
that's not what that word means.
Special.
Yeah.
Plus, Dylan Rock says hello. So
Is that some lore that I don't know about?
that would be we played them in baseball last year in Austin, and Dylan Rock hit a grand slam.
Gotcha.
And I have never seen Texas fans sit down and shut up so it was like 4-5 or something, and then it was 9-5, like that. And they were like, "What the hell just happened?" And I'm like, Dylan Rock says hello. Oh, he also likes to stand on your home plate and go like this. So
horns down, my favorite.
Thanks and gig 'em. I have a hat that has it on it.
All right, so Vandy at Kentucky. My one takeaway from this game is bet the under. I don't think either one of these teams is going to break 30 points. Who you got here? This one should be pretty
people
easy.
Care about?
I can't imagine there being too many people who really care that much about this game. I feel like Kentucky, they maybe had some high hopes for the year, but they still aren't.
At least they're ranked.
Yeah, I mean, that's better than we can say, I guess, but is 24th really that good? If you're not in the top 4, it doesn't matter.
It's true.
As Ricky Bobby would say, you're either first or you're last. And so we're all actually just last together.
We're all last to Georgia because Tennessee couldn't get it done.
It's true. Speaking of the Tennessee, Missouri at Tennessee. You interested in this game? I'm honestly not that interested in this game. No. I don't really care that much. I kind of want to see Tennessee either at least get a struggle win. Obviously, I'd prefer to see them get a loss because I think that would just be great. Also, I bet Matt $25 that Tennessee would finish the season 9-3. I haven't paid him yet because there's still a chance, and I think
what, Missouri and Vandy?
No, they have. Who else do they have? Hold on, they have 4 games left, right? Or is it 3 games?
Let's see.
Missouri, South Carolina, and Vandy.
Okay, that could happen. No.
So when I made the bet, I was anticipating a loss to Alabama. Obviously, that didn't happen, but still a chance. Missouri almost got Georgia. Missouri almost got us. Missouri, they're not a good team, but they're.
Can we talk about Drink's extension for a second? How dumb it is.
That's kind of
extended, but he's getting a payday.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I think he's possibly the worst coach in the SEC. Like Clark Lee is probably going to get that just because he's at Vandy, but I from what I've seen, to actually have Vandy playing with a pulse is pretty impressive to me.
Maybe it's Hawaii. Don't forget it. Maybe Hawaii. Week 0.
Yeah,
all excited.
Yeah. They have a pretty decent little offense. But yeah, I think Missouri can make them work for it a little bit, but I don't know if they actually get the win.
Well, that would be fun.
But yeah, Drink getting extended, it kind of reminds me of Mike Norvell. Like, it's one thing to make a hire that doesn't work, we'll put it that way. But when you have back-to-back losing seasons and then you extend them, like, just let their contract run its course. Like, who's fighting you for Mike Norvell? Like, who is calling up Missouri and it's like, hey, can we hire Eli Drinkwitz? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you need to extend him? Why do you need to add the cost? Like, it's literally, it's probably it's more likely to end up just costing you more money than it will anything else.
Auburn. Is Auburn help?
Yes, Auburn can give you notes on that. All right, last but not least, LSU at Arkansas. This game is up there too for what I'm pretty excited about.
It's gonna be
I'm hoping that Arkansas has a little hair on their chest and wants to try and make something happen this weekend, because I think that they could make a little noise.
if they could like knock our LSU down a couple pegs before we have to play them, that would be nice.
See, the only drawback to that is that then Tennessee has an easier path. So what I want to happen is I want you guys to beat Auburn. I want us to beat South Carolina. And then I want everybody else to lose. Like, I don't really care. Like, I want Missouri to beat Tennessee. I want Arkansas to beat LSU. I want Vandy to beat Kentucky. Ole Miss to beat Bama. Mississippi State to beat Georgia. Like, I'm going full on just drinking nothing but haterade all Saturday. That's what I'm going to call it. Haterade Saturday is what I'm going to call this weekend.
We're gonna hold that. That's be the name of the episode too.
Yeah, we'll need to change the title to Haterade Saturday.
I could name it that for Spotify and all that. Week 11.
Yes. Perfect plan.
I do my best, I take care of what I can.
All right. Well, we got through that a little quicker than we normally do. Is there anything else you'd like to bring up? You want to talk about?
Happy signing day to softball and women's basketball. Always good.
Did you by chance happen to see who signed the number one class for softball?
Let's find out. NCAA softball. There's no R in softball. Recruiting rankings. Let's see. That's 2024. That's 2024. I need 2023. Or is it 2024?
I told you, the timing for these signing days always just throws me off.
College recruits, perfect game USA. Is this baseball or is this softball? Let's see. Class of 2023. I think this is softball. I think. Can't tell. It says Arkansas, but this may be baseball. Okay, I think baseball. Perfect game softball. Let's click on this. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
It's so confusing because I saw that it was Florida. That's why I asked you this leading question. I did not expect it to be. I've also been trying to find it, and I also couldn't find it. All I have is a tweet that says that Florida signed the number one player, number one player, Keegan Rothrock, and the number two player, Mia Williams, and all six of our signees are ranked in the top 45.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So I was hoping to get you to see the light that Kate and I have been trying to shine in your eyes for a while now. I'm not sure how long Kate's been trying to shine it to you, but I've been doing it for months. Hashtag everything school. Get on board. Get on board. We run things except for football.
Everything except for football.
And baseball. Track, got it. Swimming, diving, got it. Who
a lot of the same things. Don't make that face at me.
Not last year, at least. Recency biased. instead of SEC bias, recency bias.
I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what we can find. If I go to sports and softball, what comes up under SEC? Let's see. 2023 SEC schedule, Title IX spotlights. Yeah, none of this is helpful. Zero help, sir. I tried.
There was an attempt.
There was an attempt. I'm just gonna type in softball recruiting rankings without a year and see what comes up. We got the top 25 players of all next year. So there's that. All right, the top player for next year is committed to UCLA. The number 5 player is committed to Florida. Number 4 is committed to LSU. Number 6 is committed to Oklahoma, and so on. All I know is A&M's best softball player left us for Oklahoma, and I'm still not okay.
Ew.
Which makes me laugh because we played them in the NCAA tournament last year. Haley Lee hit a home run, and she stomped on home plate because she was so excited, and they lost their shit. Lost it. They're like, this is rude. She shouldn't do that. She needs to respect Oklahoma, blah, blah, blah. And now she's transferred, and they've acted like she's the second coming of Jesus.
There's so many unwritten rules in baseball and softball that people get mad about.
I know. I was like, guys, really? So now she's cool. Now she can stomp on home plate, but not during the NCAA tournament against you. Got it.
Yeah, you know how it is. When you're wearing the wrong color jersey, you're the enemy. But when you wear the right color jersey,
it's fine.
You're good. Okay. All right, man. I have to go. It has been a pleasure. Next week, we will be reinvigorated. We will have in-depth analysis. We will have spreads. We will have tickers on the bottom of the screen.
We will?
Probably. I'll give you a definitely maybe.
Will we? Maybe. It depends on if we decide to care. No,
yeah, it's Veterans Day. Thank you for all your service as a Texas A&M fan. I'm sure you're aware of the cult that the cadets have. Thank you guys for all the choruses you sing. I'll call it on that one. Shelby, have a good one. SEC Bias, like, subscribe, follow, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's been a blast. See you next week.
Good night.
Good night.